Okay, fellas. Friday afternoon. It's close to 5 p.m. It's been a long week. It's been a great week. And I have just this one message today for you guys. And I think this might be one of the most powerful and valuable videos that I've ever made because this has ultimately made me. This has ultimately made me hit my goals. This has absolutely transformed my life the last 2 months. And yeah, this is one of those videos that I kind of have to tell my story and how everything happened and go into my personal story. But I believe there's a lot of value and a lot of nuggets for you here in how I've been using these punishments and rewards and weird mind games to make me ultimately hit my goals. But I'm gonna try and make my personal story as short as possible so you can just take the most value in a short time. But basically, um, I used to be an athlete. I used to be a student athlete and I used to play hockey. And I was kind of from the young age of around 16 to 17, maybe 18 years old. I kind of woke up and I realized kind of late as a athlete or a young guy, but in hindsight, kind of early, I realized the fact that if I want to go somewhere in life, I need to work harder than anyone else. And I became extremely disciplined and I started researching everything about how to be the best possible athlete. Okay, for hockey, I gotta train my speed. For example, I used to be the slowest guy in the team like 1 year, then over the summer, I went from the slowest guy in the team to one of the fastest, I think the second fastest. We always had these like tests before summer, after summer. And with one summer, I remember when I woke up and I've been telling this in the my story video where I started somehow stumbled upon like Conor McGregor motivational videos and started working out extremely hard, became extremely obsessed, became very, very, very disciplined. And I used to have these nicknames in my hockey teams about being Mr. Superhuman. Mr. Salad was one of those as well. Because I became like extremely obsessed about beating my competition and kind of earning my way in the lineup, as well as like just started researching about nutrition, what are the best ways to recover from practice, and like I was obsessed about improving myself as an athlete. Now, long story short, I started my business and I lost that in the fitness side of things. But I always used to set these goals. I used to set these goals in the beginning of the year or during certain times where if I hit X, I'm gonna get something, or if I don't hit X, I'm gonna punish myself with something. It could have been about, for example, when I was in college, I said to myself, if I hit 5K per month, I'm gonna be dropping out from college. I right away hit that goal in like 50 days from setting that goal, and then I dropped out of college, and that was my reward. Later on, it became a thing where I was like, okay, if I hit X amount of revenue, I'm gonna fly out my grandparents to Milano. I'm gonna be treating them well, taking care of them, and you get the point. It could be about getting a watch or whatever. But for me, always what used to work best is the punishments. If I don't hit this, I will have to do that. And again, to make a long story short, I used to be like extremely disciplined with these ones. I used to set all these goals. I was very, very disciplined. And there's a reason why I'm saying I was, which hurts me to say and hurts me to be this open and honest with you guys. But that's the case. I used to. Well, now I'm back, but I'm going to go into it. During this process of starting a business, everything blew up. Everything became way bigger than I ever expected as a 20 something year old kid. All of a sudden, there's a lot of clients, a lot of team members, and this could be my cope, but at the end of the day, that happened. And I was managing way more than I ever expected to like manage, and it just became massive. And in this process, I slowly stopped drifting away from myself, like who am I as an individual, and overall, just it was like this slippery slope. I started losing myself. I started losing my focus. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped setting up these goals, and I just started drifting. And I believe we all might sometimes have these seasons where you kind of start drifting away. And this happened to me in the last 12 to 18 months. And during this drifting phase, the thing is that once you become comfortable, and I'm living in my nice apartment, and if I don't go to the gym today, what's gonna happen? Nothing at all. There's no punishments. There's no like nothing. I can just stay here. Um, but long story short, I keep saying that I'm trying to make this as short as possible. But in this process of losing myself and stopped setting goals and using these mind games to push myself, I gained like 20 kilograms, which is a lot for a guy of my size. 20 kilograms, mostly probably fat because I didn't go to the gym that often. And yeah, I woke up one day, I kind of didn't even realize, but I went on the scale for the first time in like a long time, and it said 99.3 kilograms. And I was like in shock. I used to be a guy that was always in the 70s, like 75, maybe 78, maybe 80 in my athlete years. And then all of a sudden I see 99.3. Oof. I'm gonna be transparent on this channel. I know it's kind of like this was only a few months ago. And you have probably seen from my face that I'm quite bloated and puffy and not looking like myself. But then I realized that I need to change. Something needs to go. Like I'm losing myself in this process. This is not okay. I need to make a change, and I need to push myself some weird way because the desire and idea of I'm gonna be just in shape in summer, like the fancy idea of I'm gonna change something isn't enough. So I need to set these things to push myself. So I made a bet with my friends about month and a half ago, that if I don't lose 13 kilograms by July 1st, I will have to reach out to, send a message to an enemy of mine asking for business advice. A bit of a fun one, but trust me, it would be extremely painful for me to reach out to that guy. I don't want to reach out to that guy. Like the idea of that gives me nightmares. And what happened after that was that in the last month or so, I've lost 7 kilograms immediately. And it's completely changed my life because you can imagine how down bad I was at 99 kilograms. But not gonna lie, my mental health was not great. I've been not myself at all. I can make a separate video about those struggles that I went through, but I was not feeling like myself at all. You can imagine going from a guy that was extremely athletic to extremely fat, looking yourself in the mirror, the shame, the disgust, how it affects the way you lead your company, your confidence in sales calls, everything. Especially now, I can see it clearly because it kind of became a norm, which is kind of interesting. All of a sudden, it's just the average. Like it's another day. But now that I lost 7 kilograms in the last month or so, I feel like a completely new individual. I'm extremely motivated. My eyes are clear. I'm having my spark back. I'm motivated. I'm disciplined, and I'm ticking all the boxes. I'm training like an athlete again. It's Friday. I went for a very painful workout, which is called like the Norwegian method, which is basically training in a certain way to improve your VO2 max. And I've been extremely consistent the last month. I've been losing weight. I've been making progress. I've been pushing myself, and I just wanted to share this with you guys because if you're one of those guys that haven't been really hitting your goals, and maybe you don't get enough, especially with all the things that we have in our life, maybe you don't get enough motivation. Don't use motivation. Use these punishments instead. Maybe it could be for you. Maybe you're a case that rewards work for you. So for example, it could be one of those things that if I hit X amount of revenue, I'm going to fly to X place and enjoy myself. If I do this, I get that. Maybe I'd advise for you to use both punishments and rewards. If I hit X, I'm going to get X. And if I don't hit X, I'm going to punish myself with X. But it actually has to be painful. It actually has to be something that really hurts you. Not something that you can be kind of fine with. It actually needs to be something. But you get the idea. You gotta use these little mind games because otherwise it's gonna be easy to just skip gym once. And another thing is, you can make it about like your daily habits as well. It doesn't have to be like a month, multiple months, a year kind of thing. It can be about like, if I don't go to the gym 6 times a week, I'm gonna have to do X punishment. If I don't know, scroll on social media, I will have to run a half marathon. Like making these little things will drastically improve your life. Um, and yeah, I think I tried to keep it short. I know I'm noticing that it's 10 minutes. Um, but hopefully you get the main idea behind this. It's about creating these little mind games and winning yourself or losing to yourself, and then creating punishments and rewards. Because otherwise, the thing is that once you get comfortable and start getting some level of success, it's very easy to get complacent and then start drifting. People always, especially the people, even myself, I remember looking at like these guys and researching when I was kind of beginning my business about like people making about the complacency of making X amount of money and how easy it is. And I was like, that's not gonna be me. Not gonna be me. It was me. It's very easy to get complacent if you don't push yourself, because once you no longer have the pain, it's easy to start drifting. That's why you need to always have these punishments and rewards and little mind games with yourself. But I'm not gonna drag this out. Hopefully, you get the message. Let me know if this helps you. Let me know if you want me to talk about any specific ideas, because I like the fact if you comment something, then I can maybe reply to that in another video. I don't really know the format of this channel. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I can be truly myself. I'm being vulnerable and open and transparent. Hopefully, you guys can avoid my mistakes and be better. Now I'm gonna go out there and enjoy my Friday a little bit. Not too much though. On a fine, classy, fine dining level, so you don't get the wrong message here. But yeah, talk to you later.